Hi guys, good day. It's me, Teacher MJ. Our topic for today class, it's all about the rectangle. Finding all sides and all angles. So without further ado, let's do this topic. So we have given rectangle ABCD and we have given line segment BD. So this diagonal BD, that is 20. And we have given line segment AB, so this side, that is 16. And given angle ABD, so angle ABD, that is 39 degrees. And we're told to find all sides and all angle for this one. Now, by the way, class, good thing I have another video for rectangle. Quite complicated, class. Second video for you to really understand, class, how to find all angles and all sides. So the second part of our video, class, this one, the angle given is on the middle part in between of these two diagonals. So we have 124 degrees. And we have given side BC and given side DC. So feel free to see the link on the description down below how to solve this one, class. Once again, class, do not be worried because we will be explaining this one step by step, class, for you to really understand how to find all sides and all angles. Let's focus first, class, on the part 1 of our video. Alright, so given angle ABD, so we're told to find all angles and all sides. So let's find first all angles. So we have given 39 degrees. So we can say that this angle right here is also 39 degrees. So why is that, sir? That would be alternate interior angles. So let me just explain this one, class, the alternate interior angles. Actually, you have this during your grade 8 or 8th grade, this alternate interior angles. But if you forget, let me just recall this one, class. If you have two parallel lines, so example, this line, segment AB, and this line, segment DC, if you have two parallel lines, and it's been cut by a transversal line, okay, it's been cut by a transversal line. So this is actually the same, class, two parallel lines, AB and DC, and it's been cut by a transversal line. Therefore, this angle right here is congruent to this angle. That's what we call, class, alternate interior angles. And this angle right here is congruent to this angle. Alright, so therefore, this 39 is congruent to this angle right here, angle CDB or CDE. So if this is 39, this is also 39 degrees. Why is that, sir? That's what we call, class, alternate interior angles are congruent. So alternate interior angles. So this will be 39 degrees. Alright, so alternate interior angles. We're done with the first angle. So next, we find this angle right here. So what would be that angle, class? This one. Do you still remember, class, the properties of a rectangle? That's correct. The properties of a rectangle, it says that a rectangle, it has 4 right angles. So if we draw a rectangle, it has 4 right angles. Alright, it has 4 right angles. Therefore, 4 right angles, this is a right angle, class. It means that the measure of this angle is exactly 90 degrees. So therefore, if this is 39, the thing that we will do, we subtract this 39 from 90 because this angle right here, class, this one, this will be exactly 90 degrees. And we already have 39. Therefore, we subtract this 39 from 90. So that would be 90 minus 39. So 0 minus 9 cannot be. Borrow 1. This becomes 8. This becomes 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 8 minus 3 is 5. So this will be 51 degrees. Angle ADB. That's 51 degrees. Alright, so this is 51 degrees. Why is that, sir? Because this angle D, this should be 90 degrees. Because the properties of a rectangle, it says it has 4 right angles. And right angles, that's exactly 90 degrees. So if this is 39, this will be 51. Because 51 plus 39, that is 90. Now, if this is 51 degrees, therefore, this is also 51 degrees. Why is that, sir? Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alright, so we're done with these 2 angles and 2 angles right here. Next, class. What else? Now, always remember this one, class, that in a rectangle, it has 4 isosceles triangle. What do you mean by that isosceles triangle, sir? Isosceles triangle, class, it means that it has 2 equal sides. 2 sides are equal. Example, class, isosceles triangle, this one. This side right here is congruent to this side. And that's we called an isosceles triangle. Now, if two sides are equal, therefore, these two angles right here are also equal. Okay? Because an isosceles triangle, it has two equal sides and it has two equal angles. That's the definition there, class, for isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle is a triangle with two equal sides and then two congruent angles. So therefore, why is that, sir? Why do we have two equal sides? Because this diagonal, class, this diagonal AC, okay, this diagonal AC, okay, let me just throw this here, class, for you to understand this one. This diagonal AC is congruent to diagonal BD, right? Once again, if you have a rectangle and you draw this diagonal, this AC, class, is the same measure with diagonal BD or DB. This is just the same, class, because in rectangle, this diagonal is just the same with this one, because those sides, okay, opposite sides are congruent. So if you check this one, if you draw this one, even if you measure this in ruler, it will have the same measure. So therefore, if they have the same measure, they cut themselves into two equal parts. They bisect each other. That is also one property of a rectangle, class, that diagonal bisect each other. What do you mean by that one, sir? They cut themselves into two equal parts. So if you draw line segment AC, diagonal AC, and you draw another line that is DB, you cut this AC into two equal parts. So this segment right here is equivalent to this segment, right? So this segment is equivalent to this segment. Now, if you draw a diagonal BD and you draw a diagonal AC, once again, you have already the diagonal BD, and you draw another line in which that is AC, you cut this BD, class, into two equal parts. This line is congruent to this line. Now, since this is a rectangle, therefore, all of this midpoint of diagonal, class, it must be congruent. Why is that, sir? Because the diagonals have the same measure. They cut themselves into two equal parts. So this line is the same with this line. So just example, class, if BD is 20, BD is 20. What would be the measure of this one in the middle part? Let's assume that this is E. What would be the measure of DE? That's correct. This is 10. This is 10. And AE, this is 10. This is 10. Why is that, sir? Because diagonals are congruent. And they cut themselves into two equal parts. So therefore, this side right here is the same with this side. So therefore, if this is 39 degrees, this is also 39 degrees. Why is that, sir? Because this is an isosceles triangle. And an isosceles triangle, okay, I hope you get this one, class. An isosceles triangle, two sides are congruent. At the same time, these two angles are congruent. That's the basic definition, class, of an isosceles triangle. Two congruent sides and two congruent angles. So therefore, if this is 39, this is also 39 degrees. Alright, so this is 39 degrees. Why is that, sir? Because this triangle, okay, let me just throw this one. If you let me just do this triangle, class, for you to understand this one. This triangle A, B, E, this side is congruent to this side. Okay, this side is congruent to this side because the diagonals cut themselves into two equal parts. So this side, this AE, okay, AE is congruent to BE. And if they have two congruent sides, of course, they have two congruent angles because that is an isosceles triangle. Two congruent sides and two congruent angles for an isosceles triangle. So this is 39 degrees. If this is 39 degrees, of course, this should be 39 degrees. Why is that, sir? Alternate interior angles. Right? Alternate interior angles. And we also check, class, that this is an isosceles triangle. Two equal sides. Right? So I hope you get that one, class. Isosceles triangle. Two sides are congruent and two angles must be congruent. One angle A, this should be 90 degrees. And to get this angle, we subtract 39 from 90. So that would be 51 degrees. Because 51 plus 39, that's 90 degrees. And therefore, this is an isosceles triangle. So if this is 51, because they have the same side, this side, once again, class, this side is congruent to this side. So if this is 51, this is also 51 degrees. two angles must be congruent because they have the same side. Alright, so quite tricky, right? But if you understand the isosceles triangle, alright, and the properties of a rectangle, this will be really easy, class. So if this is 51, okay, this is 51 because 39 plus 51, that's 90. If this is 51, this is also 51. Why is that, sir? Alternate interior angles, class, are congruent. That is 51 degrees. And this is an isosceles triangle. Once again, class, we have 4 isosceles triangle for a rectangle. So this one, alright, this A, B, E. This is an isosceles triangle. We also have this one, okay, this other triangle, B, C, E. Alright, B, C, E. This side is congruent to this side. So as you can see, class, they have 2 congruent sides and 2 congruent angles. Same with this one, BCE. 2 congruent sides. This side is congruent to this side. And 2 congruent angles. Alright, and also this one, class. Also this one. So therefore, an isosceles triangle, class, it has 2 congruent sides and 2 congruent angles. And in a rectangle, there are 4 isosceles triangle. Alright, so last one, class, this one. So therefore, if this is 39, 39, so to get the measure of this angle, this is 39, 39. And always remember, class, that in a triangle, the sum of interior angles, it must be 180 degrees. Once again, class, if you have a triangle, any kinds of triangle, the sum of interior angles, it should be 180 degrees. If you add this up, this one, it should be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, always remember that one, class. Any kinds of triangle, equilateral, right triangle, scalene triangle, okay, acute triangle, any kinds of triangle, class. The sum of these interior angles, it should be equal to 180 degrees. So to get this angle right here, the thing that we will do is we need to add this up. And the answer for this one, we subtract it from 180. So 39 plus 39. So 9 plus 9, that is 18. Carry 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. 78. And we subtract this 78 from 180 so that we can get this angle. So 180 minus 78. So this will be, borrow 1, this is 7. This becomes 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 7 is 0. Bring down 1. 102. So therefore, this angle right here is 102. So this will be 102 plus. Alright, 102 degrees. If this is 102, this is also 102 degrees. Why is that, sir? Because vertical angles are congruent. What do you mean by vertical angles, sir? If you have two lines intersect to each other, class, they form vertical angles. Once again, class, vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines. So if you have two lines intersect to each other, this angle right here is congruent to this angle. Once again, this angle is congruent to this angle, and this angle right here is congruent to this angle. That's what we call, class, vertical angles. Once again, vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines. Okay, always remember that one, class. It's like letter X, class. Letter X. Vertical angles. So let me draw another one. If you have, okay, if you have two intersecting lines, what will be those vertical angles, class? That's correct. This one is congruent to this one, and this one is congruent to this one. Those are vertical angles. Therefore, if this is 102, this is also 102 degrees. Alright, if this is 102 degrees, what would be this angle, class? This one. What would be this angle? So to find this angle, you can add 51 and 51. Then the sum of this one, you subtract it from 180 to get this angle, because in a triangle, the sum of their angles, that would be 180. Okay, you can do that one, class. But for me, class, I will just subtract this 102 from 180. Why is that, sir? You have a straight line, class. Okay, if you have a straight line, okay, let me just explain this one, class. This is 102 degrees. Now, if you have a straight line, class, this one, a straight line, there is a straight angle. And a straight angle, that is measures 180 degrees. Once again, class, a straight angle, that is 180 degrees. If you have a straight line, Okay, if you have a straight line, the measure for that one, class, that's 180 degrees. If this is 102, the sum of these two angles, it should be 180. So the thing that I will do, I will subtract this 102 from 180 because this is a straight line. Straight angle, that is 180 degrees. Once again, if you want to find this angle, just subtract this 102 from 180 because a straight angle, that is 180 degrees. Okay, so this will be 180 minus 102. So this becomes 7, this becomes 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 0 is 7. 78. So therefore, this is 78 degrees. And this is also 78 degrees. Vertical angles are congruent. Alright, all set, class. So even if you check this one, this is a triangle, class. Triangle. Okay, this one, class. BEC. So BEC. This is 51. This is 51. Okay, degrees. Once again, class, the sum of your angles, that would be 180. So if you add this up, 51 plus 51, that is 102, right? 51 plus 51, 2, 10, 102 degrees. And we subtract it from 180, you will get same answer, 78. So it will take time if you do it this way, adding this up, subtract it from 180. The thing that I will do, class, I'll just remember the straight line, straight angle. That would be equal to 180. So 180 minus 102, that is 78. All set, class, for the angles. Find all sides, including the diagonals. So we have given line segment AB, that is equals to 16. Therefore, this DC is also 16. Because opposite sides are congruent. And we have given BD, line segment BD or diagonal BD, that is 20. Therefore, this DE is 10 and BE is 10. Alright, because they cut the diagonal into two equal parts. The diagonals bisect each other. They cut themselves into two equal parts. This will be 10 and this will be 10. Now, if this is 10 for BE, AE is also 10. Why is that, sir? Because the diagonals of a rectangle, class, are congruent. They have the same measure and they have the same size. So that would be 10 and 10. Alright, so we're done. So once again, AC is 20. Same measure with BD because the diagonals of rectangles are congruent. So we're lacking the side, class, BC. Alright, so lacking BC. So if we draw this triangle, A, okay, oh, let's draw this one, DBC. So let's just draw this one, class, DBC. This one triangle, class, okay, DBC. DBC or BDC. Let's just have DBC. So once again, class, I draw this triangle, this one triangle, DBC, for me to find this angle. Okay, and the given diagonal, that is 20. So this is 20. And DC is 16. And we're told to find this one. We don't have the side, class. Of course, we have a 90 degrees angle. Okay, this is a 90 degrees angle. Once again, class, I draw this one, BDC. This right triangle, this is 90 degrees. Once again, class, if you have a 90 degrees triangle, okay, this is what we call right triangle. You can always use Pythagorean theorem, class, in finding the sides. Once again, you can always use Pythagorean theorem in finding the sides if you have a 90 degrees angle. And this is what we call right triangle. So to find this side right here, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. The formula, that would be C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. So C here, class, is always the longest side. So this 20 is our hypotenuse. Once again, class, C is the hypotenuse. So the longest side, this is what we call the hypotenuse. And this will be the value because BD is the longest side, the diagonal BD. So this is 20. So this will be 20 squared equals, so this is B, this is A. It's either of the two, class. You can have this A or you can have this A. 16 will be your A or this one will be your A. So it's up to you, class. It could be interchanged, class, for A and B. But for C, class, it could never be interchanged because C is always the longest side. It's always the hypotenuse. So let's assume, class, that this will be our B. and this will be our A. Alright, so we're told to find A. So, copy A square plus our B is 16, so 16 square. So this will be 20 square. 20 times 20, that's 400, equals, copy A square, plus 16 times 16, that is 256. So to get the value of A, you transpose 256 from right to left, so that the remaining equation on the right side of this equal sign is only A square. So this will be 400 minus 256 equals A square. So 400 minus 256. What's the answer to this? Let me just subtract this one. 400 minus 256. I think it's 144. Let me just check this one, class. So borrow 1. This becomes 3. This becomes 9. This becomes 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. 144. Alright, so 144 equals A square. And to get the value of A, you extract square root both sides. Cancel this out. And the square root of 144, that would be 12. Because 12 times 12, that's 144. Equals A. That's it, class. This is our A. This is side BC. So therefore, BC is 12. This is 12. And AD is also 12 because opposite sides are congruent. All set, class. All set. So let me just write it in black for BC. 12 and then 12 for AD. Alright, so all set, class, in finding all angles on all sides. So I hope you learned something new today. If you like this video, class, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. You share it to your friends and to your classmates, class, so that we can help more students, especially, class, for those students who are really struggling in solving math problems. Once again, class, do not forget our part 2. Quite tricky for part 2, but once again, do not be worried because we will be explaining this one step by step. Once again, this is Teacher MJ. You have a great day, class. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.